Well, good morning, my friends. Let's talk about one of the most destructive, widespread bipartisan fantasies in American life. A fantasy so powerful that it shapes elections, ruins careers, tanks football seasons, and convinces millions of people that firing one person will fix everything. Is the fantasy that all success and all failures belong to one single magical leader. Your team loses, fire the head coach, blame the quarterback, bring out the torches. Your country struggles, well, we'll just elect a new president. That'll fix everything. Because apparently Washington, D.C. is now Hogwarts. So, but what if the truth, the real truth, is that both football and politics fall apart for the very same reason? We blame the wrong people. And we ignore the people who actually make our lives either great or grisly. You ever notice how fans react in a losing season? The record drops to 5-12, or I don't know, maybe 4-8, or 6-5, or whatever it is. 5-6, or 5-7 is what our record is. Oh, that's it. Burn the jerseys, fire the coach, finish the quarterback, trade the entire offense, start rebuilding, panic, scream, rinse, and repeat. Meanwhile, nobody ever asked this. Is the offensive line actually capable of blocking a toddler? Are the receivers even catching the ball? How many drops? Is the strength and conditioning program outdated? Just can't seem to tackle. Or do we even have good players anywhere on the field? Or was the general manager drafting like he picked names out of a hat? We act like the head coach controls every molecule on the field, as if he's both the problem and the solution, just like we treat presidents. But here's something that you need to consider. A football team has a head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, position coaches for every unit, scouting department, general manager, ownership, strength coaches, athletic trainers, a locker room full of personalities. And then you finally get to the quarterback. If your offensive line plays like they're made of wet cardboard, it doesn't matter if you put Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Johnny Unitas, Joe Namath, Joe Montana under center. They're still getting demolished. But fans will blame the quarterback anyway. Because blaming the visible person is super easy. Blaming the system is very difficult. Now, let's talk about the country. America treats the presidency exactly like football fans treat the quarterback. Everything good? Credit the president. Everything bad? Blame the president. The economy dips? The president's fault. Housing prices rise? The president's fault. Inflation? President. Gas prices? President. Weather? President. If it rains on Saturday barbecue, someone is out there muttering, "Thanks, Biden. Thanks, Obama." Right? But here's the truth people don't like. The president is not the engine of your daily life. Not much more than a hood ornament. The real engine, you ready? You ready? The 535 members of Congress, the 50 governors, the 50 state legislatures, thousands of county commissions, thousands of city councils, thousands of school boards, maybe tens of thousands of school boards, planning commissions, regulatory agencies, bureaucrats you'll never see and never vote for. These people shape your taxes, your safety, your schools, your water quality, your zoning, your property values, your business regulations, your roads, your police budgets. You follow me, right? Your whole lived, your whole lived reality, right? The president, he doesn't decide whether there's a pothole in your street. That will be your city council. The president, he doesn't decide your property taxes. That will be your county commission. The president, he doesn't determine whether your state is booming or dying. That's your legislature and governor. The president doesn't decide if your school is teaching reading or gender theory. That's your school board. But we still blame or worship the person in the oval because we're emotionally wired to look to the top. It's lazy, it's comforting, and it's raw. All right. Human beings want stories, and every story needs a hero. Every story needs a villain. Every story needs a climax, and every story needs a resolution. So we don't like bureaucratic structures, multi-layered responsibilities, shared accountability, complex systems, boring explanations, numbers, committees, processes, reality. So we create myths. In football, the quarterback is either the hero or the GOAT. In politics, the president is the savior or the devil. This is cultural, not logical. The football game is decided by 11 people on the field at any given moment, and 100 more off the field. A nation is decided by millions of decisions each day. Millions. But we pretend the quarterback and the president run everything. Why? Because it's emotionally satisfying. It's easy to explain. It's easy to tweet. It's easy to argue about. It's easy to scream about. It's easy to blame one person with the biggest spotlight. Meanwhile, the real culprits tiptoe right past you, unnoticed, unchallenged, and unpunished. Let me tell you something that most people refuse to hear. Most of what ruins or improves your life happiness is within 10 miles of your house. Not the White House, your house. Your daily life depends on your mayor, your city council, your sheriff, your county commissions, your school board, your state legislatures, your governor. These people have a direct, immediate power over your safety, taxes, utilities, business permits, zoning, housing, roads, schools, economic opportunities, police funding, emergency services. But ask 100 Americans to name their governor, maybe 30 can do it. Ask them to name their state representative, maybe 5. And ask them to name their city council member, maybe 1. Ask them to name the president, 100 out of 100. Even a guy living off the grid in a yurt can do it. We put all the attention on the actor in the lead role, and we ignore the entire cast and crew sabotaging the project backstage. Our obsession with the figure at the top has consequences, however. Number 1, we elect presidents like we're picking superheroes. And they get disappointed when they can't bend steel or shoot lasers out of their eyes. We ignore the people with real power over our lives, then complain when those people run buck wild. Number 3, we treat every election like a Super Bowl, except the one that matters the most. Turnout for local elections are pathetic. Number 4, we create fragile political culture. If everything depends on one person, then everything rises and falls with that person. That's not democracy. That's idolatry. Number five, we never, we never, we never fix the system because we're too busy blaming the figurehead. We act like America is a failing football team that keeps firing the coach without looking at the playbook, the roster, the staffing, the conditioning, or the ownership. No wonder we stay frustrated. Let me say this, if I may. If you don't know who your local officials are, then you don't actually know who runs your life. If you can't name your city council member, you can't complain about potholes. If you can't name your sheriff, not your police commissioner, not your chief of police, your sheriff, you can't complain about public safety. If you can't name your school board members, then you don't get to lose your mind about your local curriculum. If you don't know your state rep, you can't complain about state taxes. And if you don't participate in local elections, you're leaving your life in the hands of the people who do. And trust me, you don't want to live the way that they think you should live. America's not broken because of one president. It's broken because millions of Americans focus on the least relevant level of government. We're fighting the wrong battle on the wrong field with the wrong weapons. So here's our challenge to you. You ready? Blunt, simple, and very doable. Number one, learn the names of the people who actually run your city and state. Vote in local elections like your life depends on it. Why? Because it does. Stop giving presidents magical powers that they don't have. Four, stop thinking firing the coach fixes a broken franchise. Number five, start holding the system, not the figurehead, accountable. America doesn't need a new quarterback, it needs a new offensive line. And that line is built at the local level. The president is not the hero or the villain of your life story. He's a supporting character. The real characters, the ones who affect your taxes, safety, schools, businesses, and freedoms, are much closer than Washington. Until we wake up to that reality, we'll keep blaming the wrong people and wondering why nothing ever seems to change. And that's the truth. My name is Willie Lawson. This has been the Morning Report. Till we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody. And for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.